Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Kiana here, and I am here to talk about something we don't like to talk about. And that is our insecurities and how they can be holding us back. Now, I feel like I was called to speak on this because being at home and being still had revealed to me a lot of things that I thought I had grew from or overcame, but it just the nostalgic feeling came over me when I was back home in Atlanta, and a lot of things resurfaced, especially like my insecurities. So what I mainly want to speak about today is low self-esteem. Low self-esteem, a silent killer, for sure, for sure. I have my notebook here, so if you see me like looking down, I'm just looking at my notes real quick. So let's get into it. Realizing that I struggled with low self-esteem was such a huge and hard pill to swallow. You think that's something you'll get over as you get older, but no, like actually it becomes more evident in our relationships, our friendships, how we talk to people, how we talk to ourselves, and things like that. So I always thought it was my lack of confidence or my fear that was standing in the way of me accomplishing my goals and my dreams. But ultimately, it was having low self-esteem. And it's just like, damn, like maybe you're right. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we'll get into how we're able to identify low self-esteem because, we have to really get to the root of what's causing our unhappiness. So how do we even have low self-esteem? So low self-esteem can start from, having back-to-back unreliable relationships, dealing with betrayal, or just not feeling worthy. All of those things boil down to low self-esteem. So if I look back in my life, I will say I have been in a trauma body for about 3 years now. That shit is crazy. So how did I even come to the realization that I was suffering with low self-esteem? Well, like I said earlier, just being still and just being in like my hermit mode, I was just getting like a lot of like downloads and a lot of clarity. And then, every morning I pray, and usually if I can't really explain how I'm feeling or what I'm going through, I kind of like look up like prayers and devotionals to kind of guide me along the way. So I came across this prayer. No, I typed in a prayer for confidence. So after I said the prayer for confidence, I came across this prayer that was a prayer for low self-esteem. So, I was like, let me go see what this is talking about. And that was exactly what I needed. And I'm going to highlight some of the things that was in the prayer. It says, Lord, my mind is full of negative thoughts about myself. I have a desperate need of approval to make me feel better. I lack confidence and I am fearful in many situations. Heal the hurt that has been caused in the past by other people's words and deeds. Forgive me that at times I sin because of my insecurity. By trying to please others, I lose sight of who I am. Help me to see my value and worth in humility and with untarnished eyes. And then after that, I Googled. I had low self-esteem and I didn't even realize it. So once I did that, it just opened up a can of worms. Like, I came across 2 articles that kind of helped me identify my symptoms. And the first article spoke to me. She was just saying like low self-esteem is so deeply rooted, like we may not even realize it, or the reason why a bad moment can lead to a bad day, or a simple disagreement can lead to an argument. So I'm like, okay, like I'm intrigued. Let's keep going. So some of the symptoms of or signs of low self-esteem could be overthinking, people pleasing, being doubtful, having a feeling of never enoughness. You are your highest, biggest critic, and you're afraid to take risks. So let me know if that, resonate with you. And it's just like, damn, like, I never thought I would be the person to have low self-esteem or address low self-esteem, but this is why most of our goals are right outside of our comfort zone. Sheesh. Now, the second article was the cherry on top. Like, this one really read me for filth. But, you know, it started with a quote. The article opened with a quote, and I'm going to read the quote. It says, "Forgive yourself for not knowing better at the time. Forgive yourself for giving away your power. Forgive yourself for past behaviors. Forgive yourself for the survival patterns and traits you picked up while enduring trauma. Forgive yourself for being who you needed to be." And that quote is by Audrey Kitchen. And so this article kind of dives deeper into how we can see how low self-esteem shows up in our relationships. It honestly says that we should look at our relationships first to determine if we have low self-esteem. And I thought that was pretty valid. So, for example, if you're in a long-term relationship, you may be daydreaming about your breakup, or fear of being alone, or never being loved again. Or, you know, you may feel second best in the relationship. You putting your partner's happiness over your own, and longing for them to want you, and wondering if you guys were ever in love. Damn, that is deep. That is deep. Or this is another one for the single ladies. You know, if a guy wasn't available, he will become the meaning of your existence. You know, you will be convinced he was the one, and you will kind of do like all these romantic but cringy gestures to kind of show him, and it just would not end up being okay. For friendship, you guys have a wall. You are constantly on edge. You convinced that they don't really like you, or you might have said something that may upset them, or things like that. But the trick is, you guys are actually the strong friend. You guys are walking around like you don't have no worries, no problems, but deep down you going through some shit. But you're the strong friend, so nobody would think you're suffering from low self-esteem or lack of confidence or anything like that. And then ultimately, you all just have a low bar for happiness, or playing small, outstaying relationships, overstaying your welcome, chasing people's approval, wondering if people like you, and not taking risks. So now that we were able to identify the signs of low self-esteem, we're now able to recognize the patterns that we have in our lives and the cycles that we need to break in order to be our true authentic selves. Can we get an amen? So number one, afraid to take risks. You often play small, you have a fear of failure, you daydream about change, and you hardly consider that people will still like you even if you are being judged by them. Number two, people pleasing. You say yes way too much. You care more about other people's needs than your own. You go out of your way to avoid conflict, and you often do things you don't want to do in order to make people happy. Number three, you see yourself as lucky, or you constantly tell yourself you need to be grateful. You settle for less than you deserve in life, love, and work. Constant longing for more and lack of motivation. People say and do things that make you feel worthless and unheard. You might attempt to stand up for yourself, but you usually don't, or you just pretend not to notice, or you don't care. Number four, you get needy. Unhealthy patterns when it comes to maintaining certain areas of your life. You may look a certain way, or you work to stay the same, or you prefer your friends stay single. You know, in these situations, anxiety is overpowering. So you can become a little irrational. So you may sulk, you may overtext or overthink, or you may ignore others. Next, You do things you do not want to do. You behave in ways that are not aligned with your values and who you really are. You may sleep with them too soon. You may hide your real interests. You may lie about what you want, about what you need. You may leave from situations feeling like you had all your joy sucked out of you. I can relate to this one too. I can relate. The next reason is you worry or you overthink things you might have said or done. You spend large chunks of time worrying about what you said or what you done. You question if you have offended anyone. This may interrupt tasks that need to be done and steal your happiness from your current moment. You may seek reassurance or misinterpret others people's words and actions to mean that they are upset with you. You're always like, are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? No, you didn't. Last but not least, you block people out easily. You avoid letting people get too close to you. And you may see the worst in people and you may judge them. Now, I want to talk about some ways how we can honor ourselves as we overcome these insecurities. So, I say solitude, being still, that's one. Saying no. Saying no. Saying no. It's easier said than done, but saying no will really help you. Making boundaries and enforcing them, like really stand your ground. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. That is way. Next, affirmations. I'm a huge advocate for affirmations and meditation and things like that. You know, the repetition will help your subconscious. You know what I'm saying? Like really dive deep into that. So those are all the signs and symptoms of low self-esteem. You know, I'm really praying and hoping that this message helps someone as much as it helped me. You know, facing ourselves can be a hard thing to do, but I really encourage everyone to just be still and honor themselves and their mind and their body during this time when it's slow. Appreciate the slow moments. You may recognize some behaviors and some things about yourself that you don't really like, but those things are just trying to get your attention so you can really shed light on them and heal and overcome from it. You know, those things are kind of just standing in your way and just taking up space, and you need to be able to let go so you can be able to receive what really is for you. So like I said, I really do hope this helps. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys would like to see more self-talks like this. And yeah.